Social media. It's no secret that it consumes our society. Everywhere you turn, someone is sure to be scrolling on their phone. While it can be a useful source of information and socialization, many harmful side effects can come from its existence.
I noticed as kind of my work was getting more attention, I was in stories featured by news outlets, platforms with wider audiences were posting my picture. I noticed that these comments were coming in from social media users that were, there were these inappropriate comments about my appearance, targeting feminism, really just kind of misogynistic comments that I, as a 15, 16-year-old at the time, was very uncomfortable with, to the point where it made me want to leave social media.
While everyone is affected at some point, women tend to take the brunt of the hate. No matter who you are or what you do to prevent it, somebody somewhere will disagree with you and take it to the extreme.
I think women and girls, they get a lot, they're like sexualized a lot more, and men like to objectify them. I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men, but I think on a larger scale, it happens to women a lot more.
Women have to be more cautious with what they post because they're judged more than men are. I feel like, especially my age group, men make posts about going out and partying and drinking with their friends and doing all these fun things. And if a woman would happen to do that, they would be ridiculed and criticized for their actions and they're not being ladylike.
The attacks that women face online are unique in that they're underscored by misogynistic tropes, gendered stereotypes. There's this undercurrent of misogyny. Of course, men do get attacked online as well, but what we see with women is that it's very gendered in nature. So it's specifically attacking this characteristic of their identity. And for in our work, we particularly see this is happening with women specifically who champion democracy. They're working towards women's rights, human rights, particularly those of refugees, immigrants, ethnic religious minorities, LGBTQIA plus people. We find that the trend lines are often based on these stereotypes of women being unintelligent, unlikable, unqualified. And these are unique in the way that they manifest compared to attacks on men. Oftentimes, specifically when we're talking about politicians, men may be attacked on their policy points, the issues they raise, their ideas. Women are more likely to be attacked based on their characteristics, how they look, kind of these less tangible aspects of them.
The threat of online violence against women is always increasing. An estimated 85% of women globally have experienced some form of online harassment and abuse. Of that 85, 46% of women have said it was misogynistic or sexist in nature.
Women get stalked and followed around, and there's so many cases of like people matching on Tinder and then the people not being who they said they were, and like sex trafficking and everything like that.
Not only does cyber violence affect the physical safety of women, it also affects their mental health. Women who have claimed that they have faced online violence have said that they had less focus, have experienced stress, anxiety, or panic attacks, and were frightened when thinking about social media or receiving social media notifications.
I mean, it has a major mental impact. It makes women feel unsafe in spaces that everyone is supposed to feel safe, right? When social media companies, platforms were really coming to prominence, they're promising to be these democratizing forces, a public fora where anybody could share their voice, speak out about issues they care about, connect. And when you're receiving a deluge of sexual assault and violence threats, harassment, hate speech, when you're being doxxed and your information is being shared publicly, I think that definitely imposes a great mental risk.
Social media is driving women away. They are becoming sick and tired of impending threats and feel like it's easier to just stay off the internet. Social media sites have failed to create a safe environment for women and girls.
So I used to use social media a lot. I had Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of the platforms, as a Gen Z, a Gen Z would have, but I don't really use it anymore. I think Twitter and LinkedIn are the primary platforms that I use, and that's mostly just to talk about my work. And yeah, I think a large part is because of what I see every day, these abuses and attacks that, we're confronted with that just pervade the internet. It's a global phenomenon, right? So it's everywhere.
So recently, I actually got off of some of the major social media platforms because Although I didn't feel like I was being judged, I feel like I had to be very cautious with what I was posting.
Harassment isn't only targeted towards adult women. Girls experience an extreme level of it too. 58% of girls have experienced some form of online harassment. The percentage is only rising as time goes on.
In like middle school, obviously, there was always so much drama of people like saying things and Snapchatting things and all the drama. And I've had pictures that I posted that I thought were like fine, and they'd be like sent in group chats, and people would be like talking about it for a while. And I mean, getting that kind of attention is kind of nice, but it reaches a point where it's like, this isn't positive, this is degrading.
For me, being a 15, 16-year-old, I assumed, and maybe naively, sadly, assumed that I would be off limits, right? That grown men wouldn't be making comments about my appearance and these horrific misogynistic statements targeting what I was doing, the work my friends were doing, just girls and women in general. So I want to say what I took away from that is really nothing is off limits.
As Sarah said, nothing is off limits. People will take their violence to the extreme and not only target the person that they are against, but also the people that are surrounding them.
We have sadly talked to women whose children have faced threats of sexual violence because of the political work they do. The political work that their parent does is resulting in this.
The threat of online violence targeted towards women will always be prevalent unless we work hard to bring these issues to light. It won't be easy and people will have to work hard, but with some real effort, we can make a difference.